Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into Shilajit today. You know that compound from Ayurveda often called the conqueror of mountains and destroyer of weakness?
Right, quite the reputation.
Exactly. And today we're digging into the sources to see if the modern science backs up that ancient legend.
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll unpack its history, look at some pretty exciting clinical findings, but also, and this is crucial, talk about the quality and safety side of things, which is a big deal in today's market.
Definitely. So let's start there with the traditional angle. How did people originally view this stuff, this sticky, tar-like substance?
Well, it comes from way up high mountain crevices, like in the Himalayas. It's basically ancient plant matter that's decomposed and transformed over, ages.
Wow.
And in Ayurveda, it's rasayana. That means something that rejuvenates or improves tissue quality throughout the body.
Okay, a rejuvenator. And what's actually in it that supposedly does that?
The big one is fulvic acid. That's the main active component. In a good supplement, you'd want to see at least, say, 50% fulvic acid. Some brands even claim up to 80%.
80%, that's high.
It is.
Hmm.
And besides that, there's humic acid, and they often claim like over 84 different trace minerals are in there too, plus other compounds like DBPs, dibenzopyrones.
Okay. So that composition, it kind of points towards why it was used traditionally, right? As an adaptogen for energy. I even read somewhere about Soviet athletes using it.
Yeah, there are those stories, sort of anecdotal, not published data, but suggesting they used it for boosting performance and resilience, kind of under the radar.
Interesting. And now we're seeing actual clinical data that seems to echo some of that.
Exactly. This is where it gets really fascinating. There was a study on healthy men, middle-aged, like 45 to 55. They took 250 milligrams of purified Shilajit twice a day for 90 days.
That happened.
Significant increases. We're talking total testosterone, free testosterone, and DHEAS. That last one, dehydroepiandrosterone, is a really important precursor hormone for vitality.
Okay, wow. So the destroyer of weakness claim, there's maybe some hormonal science behind that idea. What about physical performance?
Yep. Other studies looked into that too. They found it helped people maintain muscle strength better, even when they were fatigued.
Wow.
It seems to boost type 1 collagen synthesis. That's really key for repairing muscles and connective tissues, especially at a dose around 500 milligrams a day.
Collagen synthesis. That makes sense for recovery.
Right. And there's more. Some evidence points to heart benefits too, like lowering triglycerides and LDL, the bad cholesterol, while raising HDL, the good kind. Plus boosting antioxidants in the body, like SOD.
SOD.
Superoxide dismutase. It's a major antioxidant enzyme, fights cell damage. So, yeah, the potential benefits look pretty broad.
Okay, the promise is definitely there. But you mentioned a crucial warning earlier. We need to shift gears and talk about the risks, right?
Absolutely. This is super important. Raw, unprocessed Shilajit. It's not safe to consume, period.
Why not? What's in the raw stuff?
It can be loaded with toxic heavy metals, things like aluminum, arsenic, lead, mercury, even thallium, and potentially microbial contaminants too. Purification isn't optional, it's essential.
But the supplement market, it's a bit Wild West sometimes, isn't it? Not tightly regulated.
That's the core problem. Purification has to be done right, but how does a consumer know? You absolutely need to look for third-party testing, a certificate of analysis or COA that verifies it's clean.
Because without that verification,
You could be getting something useless or worse, harmful. There was actually a study recently, 2025, I think, that found some finished supplements on the market had higher levels of certain toxins like thallium than the raw Shilajit they supposedly started with.
higher, how does that even happen? Poor processing, contamination during manufacturing.
Could be a mix of things. It just highlights the risk. We even saw a specific example, a brand called Neurogit. They made big claims about their special Surya Tepi purification and 80% fulvic acid. Sounds great, right?
That sounds premium.
But digging deeper, Scam Detector gave their website only a medium trust score. And more worryingly, there was a Better Business Bureau complaint. Someone got seriously ill, their doctor told them to stop taking it immediately.
Oh, wow.
And when they tried to return it for the refund the company promised, they apparently couldn't get their money back, with the company citing issues about proof of return. It just shows the disconnect.
Yeah, that perfectly illustrates the gap between the marketing hype and, well, basic consumer safety and service.
Really does. So you have this substance with, genuinely promising clinical data for health and resilience.
But on the other hand, a very real risk of getting a contaminated or ineffective product if you're not careful.
Exactly. That's the duality we're seeing.
So The bottom line, the actionable takeaway for anyone listening who's interested in trying Shilajit.
Insist on proof. Don't buy anything unless the company provides a recent, verifiable third-party certificate of analysis that shows it's been tested for heavy metals and confirms its potency, especially the fulvic acid content.
See the papers before you pay.
Pretty much. The science is catching up to the ancient wisdom, which is exciting. But the market needs to catch up on ensuring safety and quality control.
Which leads to kind of a final thought, doesn't it? If ancient traditions knew for centuries that rigorous purification was absolutely necessary to use this safely.
Right. They had complex methods, often involving specific liquids, heating, cooling cycles.
Exactly. So why is it in our modern multi-billion-dollar supplement industry, with all our technology, that ensuring this basic level of safety consistently still seems to be such a challenge? Something to think about.